Hello, world. Patricia O'Connor and Frida Reba Darcy here. This is part two. Wait a minute. I'm going to panning over, panning over to pick up Pat. No, not pick up Pat. Pick up Frida. Yeah, there's Frida. One ear up, one ear down. That's my baby dog. So in the middle of shooting that, when you were in the show business, you have to expect the unexpected. And just as I was separating tree roots from screens at the bottom of the pot that are still glued to the bottom of the pot, and by glued I mean wired, um, I was right there at that critical moment of separating, that cliffhanger moment. Unfortunately, that wasn't an editing stroke of genius by me. That was a gaffe by the camera telling us that they had had enough of us for the day and that they would be signing off. So with that, we pitched camera one, mounted up camera two, and here we are. That's basically 2 minutes after it happened. I went ahead and separated the tree from those screens and set the pot down behind it. I then grabbed the bottle. Then I set up camera, and we're ready. We're ready to keep going, and we're gonna call this part two. I'm still having a little troubles uploading stuff. Also, I can shoot stuff and download it within a few minutes, just like anybody normally could. But then trying to get that sent farther down to YouTube seems to take a long time. So maybe it's a blessing in that sense that this will be a two-parter. So here, that is our roots. We didn't cut anything loose or break anything loose. We are going to do a little bit more cleanup on the top here. Remove a weed or two, and break this up a little. I am starting to see how this is going to play out, and I am excited. I am excited for the next step for this little tree, and I am just breaking up this substrate. We're not necessarily going to do away with it. It's probably fine. It smells fine. Looks good. Breaking down some, but not overly. And what is that? Oh, is that a wire? That's a wire. We don't need that. Okay. But the reason I want to continue to break this up, I'm also the one who kind of likes, as a rule, to leave as much, especially when it comes to the conifers. I like to leave substrate around the roots. I'm not one of those people that would, as a rule, clean roots before repotting. To me, that's like taking the last bite of food right out of their mouth. Also, they've got an investment in their microbes and stuff, and that's not something that we want to wash away. But what I am wanting to do is plant this guy on a mound of roots that I'm going to tease and pile up. And that is to say that I'm going to pile them up and tease them out in a certain direction. And in order to do that, I have to do a little bit more untangling and a little bit more, stuff that normally I would. I don't really have any intentions of cutting any of this, though. So, yeah. I think this is going to turn out pretty good. What we did to sweet pea, what I did with the sock, I'm going to be doing something similar to that with this guy, except I'm I'm not going to already have that base to deal with. Not to deal with, that base was a plus. But that was partial, you know, wrapping all of that in. Also, it's like the trunk shrunk kind of small there right at the soil line. So by packing all of that area in with on sweet pea by packing or simply pea by packing all of that area in with moss and establishing an area for roots to grow. There's no roots there now, and it was critical that all of that moss stays there to be a sanctuary for all the roots. And when all of that fills up like we want it to, we are going to end up with a really cool structure underneath there. It'll be neat. I'm telling you, it's going to be really nice. I'm kind of seeing in this root mound already what I want, without doing a lot more than just this. I had planned to do a lot more than this. I had planned to do a lot more than this. Not a lot more in the way of cutting. I didn't really see the need to do a lot of cutting, but I don't really see a whole lot of need in hanging on to this either. Anyway, about that. We do that. That's what I want to do right there. That'll be our guy. All right. Now let's do a little. Let's see what we have here with our pot. How ready? A little bit of adjustment. This pot is not ready. I would say it doesn't lack much. Do. There you go, Pat. Oh, the other night I was worried about our RoboVac. Higgins is not a coward, but I did find him hiding under the bed. Just saying. It's not that I'm messy, but my RoboVac was hiding under the bed. Well, come on now. All right. Same screen, still in place. Same bottom of the pot, still in place. We are going to cut a little wire to help us with this. Where is why don't I see that wire? It's all right. I'll use this. I'm not scared. It's a lighter wire, but it doesn't need to be a boat anchor for this Shohin tree. And once again, be sure you use, if you make YouTube videos, be sure you use 3 times more wire than you need to wire the tree down. I kid, but really, it's not worth a reshoot. Run a little wire up here to the bottom to get a bar. And then there you go. Now this pot's pretty good. Wasn't like when I was trying to cut that do that trunk chop on sweet pea, that table having 3 legs was very problematic for me. That did make that job a lot harder than it needed to be. I'm going back in here, but I'm also kind of looking at it. I'm making sure that as I go shoveling this back in, I remove any little pieces of grass or needles or Coke bottle tops or anyway. Get your tools out of the dirt, Pat. I'm worse than a kid in some ways. A little bit more of that. La la. Okay. I don't remember. I remember having a discussion as to whether or not I was going to pay for Sweepy. I paid real bonsai tree money for its cousin or sister when I bought that 17-year from seed show ready Japanese black pine, and in the same breath I wanted a little inexpensive starter, first seedling starter, so that I wouldn't just be I would have something for later, something to bring along for later, right? It kind of came with, as I recall, some income tax money. So it wasn't like I was born to money. It's like we're momentarily having ourselves a splurge moment, and this is it. And we're gonna buy this for us for now, and we're gonna buy something for us and everybody else for later, so that we're not just a one-trick pony, basically. And that was kind of the idea behind that. There's room for everybody. I don't necessarily feel like I needed to go pruning a lot of roots out of this guy. When all said and done, by leaving everything till later, we're going to try our best to tuck everything in super nice and neat. But if at some point we don't quite get that, we have more than enough roots. I could have done a root prune while I was doing this, but this is not really about the root prune as much as it was just about the angle. Pretty much, yeah, we're not going to go cutting you out of anything. Might be a mistake, I don't know. Might be, it's like you never go in there without doing something. You had the opportunity, why didn't you do it? Well, I'm not worried about it. Yeah, I hear you, Frida. All right. That's not the angle. That's just on a hill. That's not the angle. That's the angle, Patricia. Okay. All right, now. It's not necessary to skewer every wire in the tree, Pat. Oops. Okay. What did we do to our angle with all of that? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yes. That is going to make all of the difference. This right here is going to make all of the difference. Get in there. Get in there, Lewis. Which way were you going with your dyslexic self? This way, right? All right, now. We didn't straighten it out by twisting that. No, we did not. We win. I mean, we're not finished yet, but we removed. Where are you? We removed that many roots, evidently. So, so far. Pulling back out of the mess a little bit. Let's see. Except for the bio gold, I don't need this lump. We'll call this other. We'll call this a mess that I need to clean up. But also I need this substrate. And I also probably need to put some olive oil to these tools when I get done with this, because this substrate that they're all near is wet. That's the secret to me for my bonsai tools. If I want to keep them from rusting and stuff, and I'm going to clean them, I'll wipe them down, especially the black Japanese tools. Olive oil. Olive oil. So yeah. You didn't just do that, Pat. I did just do that. Throwing some of this in there. Off camera. Okay, throwing this in there. We have more substrate standing by. I think this is going to be just fine. Just everything about the way this is right now, it's all going to be just fine. A card would be perfect, you know? A little card as a shovel. I should have done. What were you? You didn't think of everything, Patricia. You should have thought of everything. Okay. Let's try to work in what we got before it all starts falling away. Yep. Yeah. That one little thing we've done right here is going to make up for for my first big mistake with this tree. And so far as I know, there hasn't been a second big mistake. But my first big mistake was day one, not establishing some big old hellacious first move. You know, something that says hello, coming right out of the ground. Right. That was, you know, that was my opportunity missed. And that's when you do that, when it's really soft and pliable and you can get some hellacious bends in there without breaking out some big expensive bonsai trunk snapping stuff. Yeah, that was the time to do that. And for that one thing, everything else I feel super good about. And with this, we have not only have we started now this guy on the path to having its own decent. I'm not going to leave you off camera for long. I'm just cleaning up and also putting more substrate out in front of me to work with. Not only does this clean up that angle, look at that root now. See, that root is coming out and coming right at us. That is going to be that is already neat. I'm really happy with that. The longer I look at it, the happier I get. Let's see, I'm looking for that perfect thing. The perfect thing is a bonsai creator's a bonsai pot. A bonsai potter's business card, whose mame pots I very much want to order but haven't yet. So if you make out your card in my video, I mean no disrespect. It was just handy, and it's here handy so that I'll have it. Otherwise, I hope where you are, the water is coming down. I mean, yeah, the water level from the last couple of weeks, our big rain events. Our guys on the California coast, some of them, their livelihoods are in those coastal towns, and they took some hellacious beatings from the weather. Normally, you know, we have our earth shakes and we burn. As a rule, I say, we don't have earthquakes and not a lot of tornadoes. And I have heard of a lot, you know, when it rains here after our droughts and stuff, you do see mudslides and stuff. Also, there's a lot of snow melt in the higher elevation, so we can still be in drought and then end up with floods anyway. That's kind of weird. The higher elevations got all the snow. The lower elevations didn't get enough rain to do anything. But then when the snow melts, the lower elevation gets all the water for 10 minutes in the way of floods and stuff. So, you know, that's kind of California's cross to bear, but this year has been unusual. It has been a bit unusual. Let's see. See if we can fire this in some more. Pack more substrate in there. We sure can. Look at that. I'm gonna get. Yay! I'm loving the way this is turning out, y'all. I'm feeling pretty happy with this. Could use a little more. Could use a little more cover here for these roots. There's so much stuff down there, down below this. I'm gonna try to cover it up as well as I can, and then I'm not gonna worry about it after that. I don't think after watering it, if we lose one or two little sprigs on the root sprigs on the top, if they get nuked or something, I think we'll be okay though. That could use let's just put some soil on there and see what stays. There, do that. What are you afraid? What are you scared? Nope. And working that in there, so